In today's episode of the Pathfunk Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Greg Cawood, and he's heading over from the team at IQnection. And they're basically a growth-minded agency. They're helping your company with services like PPC, SEO, and web design in order to drive results for your business if you're looking to take it up a notch. So today we're basically going to be talking with Greg all about what they're doing and how they're working with their customers. He's the president and CEO of the company. So yeah, Greg, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me, Lucas.
Of course, yeah. So maybe give us a quick insight. What is IQnection all about in your own words?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Pleasure to be here today, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. So IQnection is about a 25-year-old marketing agency, and we are real specialists at B2B marketing. Specifically, we love to market really hard to market businesses. So if you have a business that you could never run a radio ad or a billboard or anything like that because your customers wouldn't see it, wouldn't care about it, then we love marketing those kinds of companies. They are business to business, engineering agencies, engineering firms, manufacturers, industrial, distributing. That's who we are. We're a small agency, but we're super focused on that vertical and love doing it.
Very cool. Very succinct and clear. Is there certain industries within the B2B sector that you specialize in, or what does it run the gamut?
Yeah, typically the harder the industry is, that's the one we kind of gravitate to. We love manufacturers. They are just doing some absolutely phenomenal stuff. It's really cool to take the tours of their factories and their plants and meet the engineering team. And those are, I would say, 80% of our customer base. And then the companies that work really closely with manufacturers, so engineers, distributors, some e-commerce sales and things of that nature, but all kind of tightly knit into that manufacturing business to business marketing space.
Yep, makes a whole lot of sense. Now, you actually mentioned the manufacturers there. Is there like, do they have to have like a certain digital affinity already before they get started with you? Do they come, with a sort of from scratch? You want you guys to build up their strategy? Like maybe tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, great question, and actually kind of funny. What we have found is that manufacturers are really behind other industries from a marketing and marketing standpoint, the way that they talk about themselves. They're super focused on sales. When they think about growth and their strategy for growth, it is how do I hire another salesperson? How do I expand my territory? And how do I get my salesperson into other organizations to network and represent my products? And obviously, COVID has changed the world. The world was changing already. COVID just kind of sped it up. And really, manufacturers have to embrace marketing in today's world. They have to embrace the fact that we do Zoom meetings more than in-person meetings. Trade shows are not what they used to be. There needs to be a strategy around getting awareness into their customer base and telling their story that isn't necessarily just driven by a sales team. Obviously, every company sort of has three facets: a awareness marketing facet, a sales facet, which deals with the leads that come in, and then a customer service facet. We really focus on just that first one: building awareness, telling a story, identifying the personas that they need to go after, delivering solid marketing tactics, and then doing the lead nurturing for those prospects as they come in. That's what we focus on. That's what we really develop a good relationship with our customers in order to help them understand the role of marketing really in their space. And then we deliver really qualified leads to their sales team.
Yep, very good. Now, who would you typically work with then within those manufacturing organizations? Is that then a head of sales who is asking for those leads? Do they have like, a CMO that just wants to get a digital edge under their belt? Like who's the champion internally for you guys?
Yeah, great question. So it's interesting. We're kind of regardless of how big the organization is, We typically go right to the very top. It's typically an owner that wants to grow their business, and either it's the owner or like the vice president or head of sales, but it's somebody really high up in that organization that has been struggling to grow their organization. They're looking for other opportunities. So we go to the top, and quite oftentimes there's not a robust marketing department for us to work with. Sometimes they're beginning to get that going. But really, like, yeah, we're talking to the CEO of $100 million a year manufacturer, and we're having great conversations and helping them along their journey about kind of what does their organization look like next.
Makes sense. Now, how do they learn about you guys? I mean, they're busy, right? They're even potentially even in their factories, walking around there or doing outside appointments for calls. How do they learn about
Yeah.
IQnection?
So surprise, surprise, we're good at marketing. So they learn about us because we're awesome at what we do, and we make it really apparent and really visible in their space who we are. So they come across us, they see our marketing, they read our blogs, they are given referrals from other customers that we've worked with. So we work the marketing side of that to make sure that they understand who we are. But then also, and this is kind of one of the more important things about marketing, is we have developed a story around why we're the agency to do business with, and that's actually something that we do for them as well. We help them develop their own story about why they're the manufacturer or the engineering company that their customers need to do business with. And that's a huge part of what we do, developing that story, going through the personas that they're going to be marketing to. Then we develop the tactics to build the awareness. And then once the awareness is there and people are engaged with that story, then we'll do nurturing for a long period of time with their prospects until they can become a customer.
What role do you think then your own website plays in that journey?
Websites are huge. Basically, for almost every company that you can think of today, a website is a massive part of a customer's journey, because websites really are kind of the center cog in a wheel of different marketing activities. People come to the website for a number of different reasons. Some just through Google searches to see, what organizations are out there in the world that can kind of service my pains or my issues, all the way through to, do I have confidence in this company? Do I want to, are these the kind of people that I want to work with? Websites answer literally so many questions, like geographically, can I work with this organization? Price wise, are they in the ballpark that I'm comfortable spending for, what I'm looking at? And we all do that. We all go to a website and we look at it and we say, oh man, my house needs a new roof. And we hit a couple different websites and we go, oh, that roofer, they look expensive. I'm not sure I'm going to give them a call. And we look at another roofer and we make this whole decision about who do we want to do business with, just by the images and the messaging that they put on their website. So what we like to do is back it all the way up to the beginning and say, okay, what's the story that you want to tell that's going to resonate with the kind of customer that you want to do business with? And it can't just be, hey, we've got great people, we've got lots of experience, we've been in business for a lot of years. I mean, those are things that every business sort of checks those boxes. We've got to dig deeper into developing a story that resonates. When they leave your site, they need to think about you again afterwards. So how do we plant a seed that's going to resonate for a long time? And then I like to think of it kind of in the analogy of, I don't know, Lucas, if you're married or not, but I'm married, so I'll talk about
Not
my own
yet.
experience. But you don't meet somebody and immediately get married. You go through a dating process, right? And that dating process can take weeks, months, years. And what does it mean then for a business to date their prospects? Once they learn about you, right? They're not going to immediately buy from you. You have to date them. And one of the funny things is, and guys talk about this stuff, it's important that you take your girlfriend swimming, because you want to see what they look like without makeup on. You want that to all wash off to make sure, yeah, they're beautiful with makeup and without, kind of thing. So that same mindset is, how do they see you behind the curtains? Is it a customer tour? Is it meeting the engineers? Is it having those personal conversations where they get to actually learn about you? So I think a lot about dating your prospects, dating your customers, what their experience is and how you can work that experience to really say, we're the company to do business with. And those are the conversations I love to have. It's why we're in marketing. Developing that story, again, figuring out who that story is perfect for, what the tactics are to deliver them, and then how do we nurture them over time.
Very cool. I mean, you mentioned that you're working a lot with manufacturers, and what I'm curious about is because considering, let's say, the industry is a little bit, slower in the adoption of, marketing digital strategies.
Yep.
What will be topics in the digital sphere that are top of mind for them? Are they talking about just like, bringing up their website properly? Is it good? Do they go further? They want to optimize SEO? Is it even further than that? They want to optimize conversion rate optimization? Like where are they sort of in that journey?
Yeah. So by and large, business owners, presidents, CEOs, small companies or big, get tactics. Okay. And by that, I simply mean, and when I say tactics in the marketing world, I'm talking about websites, search engine optimization, social media campaigns, email, things like that, things that you can kind of put into a bucket, put a budget on and do. Business owners get tactics. So they start the conversation with us saying, I need a new website. It's like, great. And a couple times a week, we get somebody coming to us and saying, I need a new website. And really then the questions become, okay, we can deliver a website. We've done it for 25 years. We've got a whole team. We've got programmers, graphic designers. It's going to be awesome. What do you want your website to say? And it's like the first time they've thought about that. They haven't thought about the story that they want to tell. So it's backing it all the way up to the beginning and saying, okay, we need to develop a story that your website's going to tell. That story is designed for a specific kind of person in this world. So we need to resonate with that person, tell them the story about why you're the company to do business with. And then the website just becomes an easy, it's a storytelling mechanism, but that is the entry point. And then we have to go through a process of convincing somebody that you can't just do tactics. It's kind of like if you were to make a pizza, right? And I were to give you the flour, the yeast, the water, the oil, the cheese, the pepperonis and whatever in an oven and say, go at it, but you don't have a recipe or anything to follow, I'm not sure your pizza is really going to turn out that good. But if I give you all of those ingredients and then just the recipe to follow, 9 times out of 10, that pizza is going to be delicious at the end. And you could replicate that. And that's kind of what we do as a marketing agency is we've got the process. We need to figure out what your story is. And then we know how to deliver that mechanism, that story in a recipe that's going to work for you. But where do people start? 100% of the time they start with, we need a new website. It's getting old. I'm apologizing about its out-of-date content. Can you help us? And it's like, absolutely, but let's take a couple steps back and do this right for you. So you're not just checking the box, you're actually building something that's going to be worthwhile.
Makes complete sense. I'd love to switch gears, sadly. We talked about what you guys are doing and the folks that you're working with. I would love to learn about yourself a little bit. I mean, you've been obviously driving the business for, you were saying it at the beginning, it's more than 20 years old at the company by now. So you've been with it for quite a while. I'm curious, right? Somebody like yourself, when you want to educate yourself on marketing and growth, where do you go? Where do you personally find high quality information with all the noise out there?
Yeah, great question. And let me tell you, sometimes I wish that I had become a banker, because it's like the same thing every day and nothing changes. We are 25 years old, or coming up on 25 years, and IQnection has reinvented itself probably every 3 or 4 years. We just throw the old one away and we start something new, because literally that is how much our industry has changed over 25 years. When we started, nobody had websites. It was awesome. My business partner and I joke about this all the time. We would literally have a meeting in the morning at 10, sell somebody a website. We'd go out for a fancy lunch. We'd come back. We'd have a meeting at 2. We'd sell them a website. We'd process some paperwork in the afternoon, and we would come in and do it every single day of the week for years. And it was awesome. We just sold and developed a lot of websites. But then something happened in America around 2008, 2009, which was the Great Recession. And business owners said, hold on, I need to actually make money with this, right? This is no longer just a brochure that I'm happy to spend. I've got a website. This is now like I'm watching my costs. I need to make some money. So it became, how do we make websites that really drive business purposes? And that was a really cool time in our industry where little agencies, little web development companies grew up real fast. And in order for us to stay relevant, we needed to layer on search engine optimization and think about how do we get form completes and begin the process of understanding a buyer's journey. Shortly after that, Facebook began. I mean, that's how old my company is. Like, Facebook didn't exist in this world. Social media was not a thing. And now we had this whole new kind of communication structure that we had to wrap our heads around, and social media. Lead nurturing campaigns through email became a thing. Marketing automation platforms like SharpSpring, HubSpot, and Pardot came into the mix. So all of these things have been new layers about how services we can deliver, but they're all in that same original vein of how do I make my website into a really productive marketing tool? So we have to, at our core, stay up with all of it, because when our customers come to us, they're looking for help because they know that they're not the expert. They're looking for us to be the experts and push that information to them. So we as an organization have a real commitment to training ourselves and training our team with certifications in our building. We have a certification wall, literally like dozens and dozens and dozens of plaques on the walls with all of the certifications people hold, from Google AdWords, Google pay-per-click campaigns, HubSpot certifications. We've been a HubSpot Platinum partner. We're a SharpSpring Platinum partner. We've gone through the agency trainings. We do in-person trainings. Like, it is literally a huge part of being a marketer, is staying abreast. And honestly, my second part to that is, a lot of the people we hire are coming out of schools with fresh new information, and they're sponges. So we suck information out of them, and they take it out of us. So we're constantly, it's unlike any other industry out there. We have to be at the forefront of all of the education and the learning and the trends. And then we're pushing it out. We're hosting webinars and podcasts and things like that, where we're teaching our customers on how they can kind of be at the forefront of some of these marketing tactics that are evolving.
Very good. As we're slowly wrapping it up, I would have one last question for you, which would be, if we would do a little bit of time travel, right? And we go back to that very first day you started working on IQnection, right? It's a while ago, as you were mentioning. What would be the one biggest advice that you'd give yourself for that journey?
Yeah, I would say that you're going to hear the same thing from any business owner that's been in business for a long time, and it's specialization. Really, like, know who your market is and sell into that unique group of customers. The more specialized, the easier it is, the better it is. And my example is, if you sold pepperoni to pizza shops, you know exactly who your target market is, you know where to find them, you know what to say, you know what their needs are. For us, it's not that easy. We're not just pepperoni to pizza shops, but the more specialized you become, honestly, the better services you can deliver, the more you understand their pains and problems, the more you can solve those pains and problems and make your story about why you're the best marketing agency to serve that customer. And then it's a home run. So specialization, start with a really narrow defined audience and stay with it and go vertical.
Very good, Greg. I really appreciate you took the time with us today to be a guest on Pathmark Presents. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about IQnection, what's the one thing they should remember?
Oh man, what is the one thing they should remember? I would say just lean in to a marketing conversation and think about dating your customers, dating your prospects. It's not a once and done thing. There's no one night stands in marketing. It's a long process where you need to convince somebody over time why you're the right company to do business with. A lot of companies don't think about that enough. They don't put themselves in their prospect's shoes and say, hey, if they were going to buy from me, what would I need to kind of know and educate them about in order to make that happen? So I would lean into that whole concept of dating your customers.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathmark Presents, Greg.
Good. Thank you so much.